Nick, how are you?
Hey, Kathy.
How you be?
Okay.
Huh?
Good. What's going on? What's new?
Nothing's new. Everything's always the same.
Cold and dreary.
Cold and actually warm as hell.
I know it is warm, right?
I was watching watching the live stream of the State of the Union last night.
Yeah.
But I was watching it like from the moment the White House happened, like, you know, they got into the cars and the whole thing. So, it was a big live stream. And the only thing that I kept thinking about is they have the door to the White House wide open. It must be that warm. People are just walking in and out.
Yeah.
No coats, just suits. I'm sitting there going, wow, it's February.
Yeah. It's unusual.
I know. The door is like wide open, people walking in and out, no coats, no nothing. I was just like, all I kept thinking is, it must be really warm. I know I'm slightly retarded. Wait, I can't say that, right? So I just got this new toy for my laptop. It's a secondary monitor.
Oh, nice. Wait, is it just a regular monitor that you're plugging in, or?
So it's it's made by Lapao, and it's actually, it sort of looks like a 15.6-inch tablet.
How?
Lapao, Lepow.
Okay.
And then you buy these little things and you basically just attach it to your laptop.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah, so it's portable, right?
Right.
Yeah, I have two regular monitors, and then I have my laptop monitor. So I'm working on like three. But if I leave my desk, I get lost. I'm like,
right. But you can do it now with your laptop. It's actually really cool.
You could just take this little guy around, huh?
Right. And you did I know? No, it's not you that had the Mac. Never mind. You have the Lenovo.
Yeah.
But you could just add it, Hi, Erica. How are you? You could talk if you have capability to do so. Um, yeah, so I decided that I needed an extra monitor on my laptop. Of course, I don't have a desktop. Like my laptop is my main computer.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I need an extra one here. And so I decided to look into it and I found this thing and I'm really excited about it. Like I literally could not be more excited about it. Like I said, you just buy these little things and they attach it to your regular laptop sort of at an angle so you feel like, and you could get a second one too. Put it on the other side.
Oh.
You can even get a fourth one and like or a
Put it on
third
top.
one and like put it on top. It's actually just really super cool. Miss Erica, have you been with us before? Jeffrey was with us, but he left. I think he had trouble. We're just waiting a few minutes. People usually join a few minutes after.
You can plug it into your phone.
You could plug it into your phone. You can if you're at a presentation like at a coffee shop or something, you could turn it around and you could actually just duplicate your screen instead of there. You could do like anything with it. It's essentially just like a really big tablet, except it has no computing power on its own.
Right. Is it rechargeable or is it USB power? What's power?
No, you have to actually have it plugged in to a power source.
Okay.
That's I mean, that does suck. They do sell more expensive ones that have their own battery pack, but they add like $80 to it. I just didn't think it was worth it just for that feature. Welcome back, Erica. If you have a microphone, you're welcome to talk. So I'm going to send my daughter on a cruise for her birthday.
Sweet. Where's she gonna go?
You know, the reason I'm doing it is there's super deals out of Orlando.
Yeah.
On Norwegian.
Yeah.
Like $300 a person. It's ridiculous. So wherever out of Orlando she can go. She lives like an hour from Orlando, so for her it's just a drive, you know.
Right. Will you be joining her?
No, I'm pretty sure she'll bunk up with her husband.
Well, I didn't mean you had to bunk, but
No, I don't need. I've been on so many cruises. I've been everywhere, so for me, she's never done anything. Like when I took her to Italy for her birthday a couple of years ago, she actually had to get a passport.
Yeah.
Like before I took her to Italy, the only place she'd ever been outside of Florida was Tennessee. Like she's literally never done anything. So she's certainly never been on a cruise before. And, you know, I've been on umpteen cruises. Kathy's father lives on a cruise ship pretty much. He's on it like 3 or 4 months a year. So for me, $300 a head seems like a generous gift, but it's really not, you know.
I won't tell her.
Oh no, she knows. I told her. When I took her to Italy, that was something. This is nothing. And I took her to Tuscany, so we went to the Montecatini region. It was lovely. We actually didn't even go stay at my house. The package I bought came with a hotel. So we actually stayed at a hotel in Montecatini, whereas my house is in Biscaglia. So we didn't even stay there. Went to Montecatini is known for the spas, so we went for the mineral baths and the massages and all of that. Then I got caffeine buzzed because we went to Florence and she wanted to tour the the basilica. So I didn't feel like it. So I sat outside and waited for her. Meanwhile, I had like 6 triple espressos, each with shots of Bailey's in it. I was like, I literally actually felt sick. Coffee has never made me sick before. I felt sick.
Yeah. Well, the coffee and alcohol mix can get a little overwhelming sometimes.
Well, you know what's so funny? A shot of espresso in Italy is like 90 cents.
Yeah.
Here it's like $1.75.
Yeah.
You know how much it costs to add a shot of Bailey's to a shot of espresso?
I would think it would more than double the price or something.
90 cents.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
for $1.80, you get a shot of espresso with Bailey's in it. And, you know, anywhere outside of Rome,
Yeah.
they rape you.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's Erica. We're just waiting for a few more people to join. We usually have a nice crowd of 8 to 10 people. But I guess during the month of December, when I was on sabbatical, we lost some devotees. John was being recruited to work on the Biden campaign, so he might be off.
He might be available now.
No, I was going the opposite way, that he was out on the road, but he might be back now.
Yeah, he might be.
Post Iowa. Poor thing. I was like, this has been a really bad week for the Dems. Really bad week.
Yeah, yesterday was all messed up.
Yeah. There's a podcast I watch daily, and he's like, yeah, today was a 1, 2, 3 punch to the Dems. He's like, first was last night's State of the Union. Second was voter turnout in Iowa. And third was is going to be acquittal, which of course happened.
Yeah.
It was like 1, 2, 3 sucker punch. Erica, do you have anything in particular you want to ask about? Or talk about? Or particular topic you have interest in? Oh, I so wish you could talk. Then you could join the convo. We sort of intermix notes with general conversation. I mean, its main focus is notes, but we have general conversation too. I wish you could speak with us. So I told you my sister is dating her ex-husband. Yeah, go get your headphones. I told you my sister's dating her ex-husband, right, Nick?
Yes.
So apparently this guy has like, and of course I know him to death, know him tremendously well. He's like my brother, my long lost brother, And so he apparently has a lot of vacation saved up. He is like literally stuck to her side. So he went with her to Italy. Then he came back and he went home down to Florida. Now he's back. He's going to come back up in 2 weeks and fly over to Italy again. I'm like, dude, how many weeks vacation do you have? He's like, I got like 20 weeks saved up. I'm like, wow. What the hell?
What does he do?
He works a couple of different things, actually. He works for the I forget the county he's in, but he works for the the county schools in Florida as the
Okay.
head superintendent.
Yeah.
So he's like in charge of all of, because there they do schools by county. So he's in charge of all the schools for the county maintenance and stuff.
Yeah.
And then secondarily, he's a general contractor on the side. So he does like work on the side.
Yeah. My wife's a high school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has, other teachers who are, they've been there for years, granted, but they'll basically leave and quote unquote retire a year before retiring, and they collect a regular check for a year just off the sick pay before they
Right.
actually, yeah,
Right.
crazy.
Well, you may get mad at me, but I'm not a big believer in teachers getting like pensions. Charlie gets mad at me. I'm like, the only people in the world I think should be guaranteed a pension are first responders and military. That's it. Everybody else, just like private industry is responsible for their own retirement, so should public.
Yeah, well, came out of a public job, so.
Oh no, I've said that to other people though, and they've been like, a teacher, what are you talking about? You get like 3 months off a year. What are you kidding
Well,
me?
the salaries are not competitive compared to industry.
Yeah, but they're not horrific either. I know teachers that
Well,
make $85,000 a year.
yeah, but newer teachers they're not getting paid as well.
Well, I'm just saying, it's
Particularly.
not as bad as all that.
Yeah.
And most of them are married and 2 family incomes, arrangements.
Yeah.
So it's not like the end of the world. And then the job they do get is usually bartending in the summer down the shore. And how much not fun is that? You know what I mean?
Hi, guys.
Hi, is that you, Miss Erica?
It's me.
Oh, I'm so glad you got your headphones and you can chat with us.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to chat. So, just texting chat I was expecting to do.
Oh, no, we like people to talk here. I'm sort of you can ask Nick. I'm like a social butterfly. I just can chit chat forever.
Okay, that's great.
I've taken this thing until like midnight sometimes.
No way.
Yes. Mostly talking about notes, but yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. Well, we get a lot of people that join from the West Coast at a later time because right now it's like 4:14 for them. They're not off work yet.
Yeah, they're still working.
Yeah, so a lot of people will join us later. So I've taken this thing. I'll go all night. I don't care.
My.
It's so funny because I teach a class and I basically tell everybody, you literally have me for 2 days as long as you want me. So we start at 10 a.m. And if you want to go till 4 in the morning, guess what? We'll go till 4 in the morning.
Wow.
And start the next day at 10. You literally have me at your beck and call for 48 hours.
They get their money's worth.
Absolutely. I try to always provide value.
That's awesome.
If there's no value, there's no use in doing it.
Wow.
So we might talk about a different topic tonight that might actually be of interest to you, Nick, and certainly to you, Erica.
Okay.
Do you have notes already, or?
I had notes. I sold all of them, and yeah, I don't think I have any right now. Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm getting back into the market again. I'm looking for notes again.
So what is your level of expertise? You consider yourself expert? You consider yourself just having done it a few times?
You know what? You just broke up. I just heard you say something about expert.
I said, what level of expertise do you consider yourself at in the note investing world?
I don't know. I look at myself as a beginner still. So
even having had notes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so complicated sometimes, only because there's no one way of sort of resolving an issue. There's so many different scenarios that can come up. So I kind of look at it. I mean, I have experience. I'm not a complete beginner. But I still kind of feel green.
Right. Well, you might be like sort of at the same playing field as Nick, because Nick buys performers or reperformers.
Okay.
So, but you've worked some of your own out to a certain degree, right, Nick?
Oh yeah. No, I buy non-performers and
Oh, but then you board them.
Oh, I do board them.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I've done a few dozen.
All right. Well, here's a couple of thoughts. just regulatorily speaking, in Ohio now, whether you're, even if you have a servicer and or a attorney, collections attorney, you still need a license
Oh,
to
wow.
buy and sell notes.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Same thing in the state of Washington. There was questions about Georgia, but I had FCI forward something to me. And after I actually looked and read the full statute, it turns out, no, you don't really need it in Georgia.
Okay,
And in
Georgia.
Illinois, these are just the regulations I know about. In Illinois, you're only allowed to do 3 transactions per year, whether it be buying or selling.
Oh, wow.
So if you buy a tape in Illinois, or you buy a tape and it has 3 Illinois notes on it, you can't buy any more Illinois notes or sell any that year.
That's really prohibitive. Oh my God.
But at least they're not making you get a license.
Well, that's true.
I mean, you have to, a lot of these licenses, you actually have to go to the NMLS website, which costs ridiculous money. I mean, ridiculous.
I had no idea about that. That's very interesting. I thought the only state was, well, I hadn't looked into it deeply, but I knew Georgia had restrictions, but
they don't actually. Like I said, we were boarding a note with FCI that we had already worked out, and they sent me this thing I had to fill out. Tell me which one of these you are, thus requiring you don't need thus saying you don't need a license. And so I actually went and read the entire statute, not the whole statute for the real estate, but the statute as it regards to that. And in reading it, I was able to check mark, nope, we don't need a license. We're good.
okay, awesome.
We're good.
So are you the founder of Paper Assets Capital, or this is my first time actually?
So there's 4 of us.
Okay.
We have the partners go like this. We have Nick. How many of us have you met?
I had met the other Kathy, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have the other Kathy. We're 2 Kathys. She is a workout extraordinaire. She's literally the most patient, sweetest person on earth. And it's funny because when you meet her, you'd think it was a come on, and it's just not. I've known her for 23 years and she's still like that with me. Like,
oh, wow.
She's literally the nicest person on earth. And she's just fantastic at workouts because she's really patient and she listens to them. But she's also not soft. If you can figure that out, to me, it's really just a strange juxtaposition of personality traits. So she's not soft at all, but she's super sweet. So she's a great workout person. Then we have Al, who is our resident sexy boy. He's but he's also ridiculously brilliant. He's an actuary by trade. And he's retired from Aon. He was an actuary at Aon. Okay. He's retired now and works just with us. And then we have a serial entrepreneur who owns like a $10 million HVAC company and a bodega in Brooklyn, that kind of thing.
Wow.
And so he does like our marketing and our investing. Oh, and Al does our asset management. I am the most boring of the 4 in that I do all the back end admin.
But you're the social butterfly. You can't be boring.
I am. So I'm also the face. Like unless you meet us at a conference where there may be 1 or more of us or 2 of us or something. That was redundant. You'll pretty much only ever really get to talk to me. Everybody else is shyer than hell. Even our investor relations guy is super shy.
Wow. It's always the shy ones with the brains, right?
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what's so funny? Al is hysterical because he's ridiculously hot and ridiculously brilliant. And yet he will talk. It's just like it's an effort for them. Like it doesn't cut, like for me, I'll talk to anybody at any time, anywhere, anyhow. Like I'm
You've
good.
never met a stranger.
Right. Waitresses, bartenders, I don't care. I literally, they're my friend. So, but the rest of them are just like sitting there like,
You
yeah,
tell Kathy.
yeah, exactly. So that's our group. And we sort of came together and realized that we each had skills that would bring something to the table for PAC. And, for me, it's like research. Like I like reading statutes. I like figuring things out. I like looking for things. I like, solving puzzles. So that's why I do all the back end stuff, all the research and all of that. So
Okay.
it just works out well for us. Now, here's a new thing that we just bought, because inventory is kind of low right now. So I don't know, Nick, were you on the call when I made mention about the unsecureds?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think so. You mentioned it another time, I think.
Ah, okay. So we ended up with that tape.
Okay, yeah.
And it cost us $15,000, which is like nothing, right? It's sort of like a test to play with it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it's $3 million of UPB, but not really because it's all unsecured. So
yeah,
it's really.
Were they first or seconds or?
We only buy seconds, so these actually
Okay.
are all seconds.
Okay.
Again, just to play with it, we bought like 6 firsts just to figure it out and play with it, and we just did not like firsts at all.
How come? I've only done seconds, so I'm thinking when I start again, I'll venture into doing some firsts. But that's interesting that you say that. How come you didn't like the firsts?
Well, people assume that firsts are low risk,
right?
Because they're firsts, except that they're way higher price points with way higher UPBs, and you're not really first. You're behind tax liens, you're behind HOA liens, you could be third, you could be fourth. So it's expensive because you have to pay off all those liens to keep everything up. So you actually reduce your margin of profit like ridiculously low. It's like a restaurant. Restaurant has a margin of profit of like 4%.
Oh, wow.
But that's why when like in New York City, when they made the minimum wage $15, a lot of restaurants went out of business because there's just wasn't the margin there to pay for it, to cover it.
Wow.
Hi, Miss Carolyn. So it's sort of the same with firsts. The margin of profit is really, really low. And if you keep paying off like taxes and you keep paying off homeowners insurance and you keep paying off HOA liens, it's going to reduce your profit margin substantially. Whereas with seconds, you could buy a lot of seconds and lots of seconds, really. And even if you get a couple of losers in the bunch, it doesn't matter because the return is so much greater than our first that it actually, you kind of want a few losers to mark off as tax write-offs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how good seconds are. In terms of profitability.
That was my experience.
Right. In my, like I said, we tried firsts and we did a few and we didn't lose money, but we didn't really make money either. And it was a lot of work. So for me, that amount of work, I need to make some money.
Wow, that's really good to hear. Because I was like, well, when I, start again, I'm going to start with firsts. I'll leave the seconds for now. And I figured that they would just be easier to work out, because as soon as you send a homeowner a foreclosure letter, they're going to be like, hi, calling you.
Right.
So,
but here's the thing, you got to be smart about the seconds that you buy. Seconds that you buy, you should buy them over a performing first.
Right.
Because that indicates they want to stay in the house.
Right.
If the first isn't performing, they ain't paying their first, they ain't paying you. Although we did have somebody who was delinquent on their first but paid us every month.
You're kidding.
No, it's just Kathy is so good at workouts, it's ridiculous.
Wow, she's brilliant. If she managed that.
But eventually the first foreclosed and you know, he stopped paying us too, but he was paying us for like a year. It was great.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But so you have to just be smart about the seconds that you buy. Make sure the
Yeah.
first is, if it is delinquent, not more than 60 days, something along that line.
Yeah, that was my strategy for the most part.
But back to this, and you also want to make sure your equity position is covered, at least partially, enough to make it worth your while. So let's say you buy a second with a 50,000 UPB. If it's only covered 30,000, that's good. You know what I mean? You're still going to make
especially if you
money.
paid like 5 grand for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still going to make money. So it doesn't have to be covered 100%, but it has to be covered enough where it still makes it worth your while.
Mm-hmm.
So on to these unsecured. So we bought this tape. We got 58 notes for $15,000.
Wow.
And again, theoretically UPB of 3 million, but not really, because they're all unsecured. So our strategy, and this is sort of a test for us just to see if it's something we want to get into. But basically we're just going to send them a letter and say, hey, you owe this amount of money, it's unsecured, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're willing to take, 50% off what you owe. And instead of owing 50,000, you owe 25,000, that kind of thing. See how many respond. All we need is like 3 or 4 out of the 58 to respond. And we've got our money back plus.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of work involved. It's simply a mailing. So it's not a big deal. So we're going to see how it goes, and I'll keep you guys updated on the strategy and the process. So far, we've sent out RESPA letters. We're going to see how many come back undeliverable, and then we're going to send a collection letter to the ones that didn't come back undeliverable.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Miss Carolyn, do you want to talk?
Nope, I'm going to be bashful.
Oh, say hello.
Oh, hello. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while.
Well, I took sabbatical in December not because I really meant to. It's just that the dates that the webinar was scheduled for just were like on holidays. So it just kind of worked out that way, and I don't do it on holidays. So it just kind of worked out that way. So for like the whole month of December, I was on sabbatical theoretically. But I'm good. Hey, listen, you were still, I don't know if you were still interested in gears in Ohio.
Oh, okay. I figured you probably found a buyer for that.
We did pretty much at the same time you were, let me tell you something. It's a hot market, and we have been getting inundated with offers. Even now, real estate agents still call us. It's crazy.
Well, tis the season.
It's apparently, according to realtor.com, that area is apparently the hottest market in the United States right now. Real estate market. Who knew? So, what'd you say, Erica?
What city in Ohio is that?
Columbus.
Oh, okay. I've got family there.
Apparently, it's like literally the hottest market in America at this moment. So we have a 4-unit apartment building there.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of our firsts that we bought to play with. Anyway, we ended up with it through foreclosure, of course, and we haven't had tenants in there in over a year. But so we decided to list it just to get rid of it. We're sick of it. Because we don't like to own real estate. At PAC, owning real estate is like a death knell. So we hate owning real estate. So we just decided to get rid of it, throw it up on the market. And the offers, Carolyn, were insane. Like, I'll give you 160 cash. I'll give you 125 today. I'll give you 150, next week. Like, really crazy.
So what happened after all the hot air blew over?
Well, so right now, apparently, I didn't know this, but all the utilities were shut off. Our property manager turned off all of the utilities because we had no tenants, and he winterized the place, etc. So we needed, for inspection purposes, we needed to get all of the utilities turned back on, which is apparently annoying in Ohio. So we finally got everything all turned on. And so we're sort of in an inspection phase right now. But, you know, the apartments are not in great shape, and people know they're going to have to dump at least 10,000 per unit into the apartments to get them like up to snuff. And so it's sort of, I don't know where we stand because I'm not in charge of it, but I think our last offer was dropped down to 125, which is fine for us. It's still great money.
Cool.
So that's kind of where we stand right now. So if you have interest still.
Oh, I'd rather see you get money out of it. Rock it out.
Yeah. I mean, but if you wanted to talk to Dennis about it, he's the one who takes care of that stuff. You could email him.
Okay. And you're going to give me his email address.
Yeah, I'll give it to you right now. I'll just put it in the chat there.
Oh, okay. I promise I'll look.
And I'll put the address in there too.
Okay. See. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's for us, the offers are literally coming in like crazy. I had this one guy who clearly didn't listen to me when I gave him Dennis's email address on the phone. He called me like 3 times to verify the email address because it kept bouncing back because he kept putting PAC with a K, like PAC, P-A-C-K.
Yeah.
I was like, I never said K.
Pay attention, dude.
So he finally, on the 3rd time, he read it back to me, and I knew what he had done. So I was waiting to hear the K, and there it was. I was like, yeah, there's no K after the first C. So I think his offer was 169. But again, it's all dependent on inspections and stuff. And obviously the offer goes down because, again, it's not in great shape. And we don't ever say it is. But people assume and make these crazy offers until they find out, hey, not in great shape. You need at least 10 grand a
It might be
unit.
in the middle of California, and 160,000 might be a fire sale.
Right. But like I said, this area, Columbus, Ohio, like according to realtor.com, is like literally the hottest market in America right now. It's crazy. Who'd have thunk it? It's the economy working for you. So, anything else we want to talk about? I'm so excited about this new venture with the unsecureds. I think it'll be good. Like I said, if 3 or 4 of them work out for a small investment of 15 grand, we make a ton of money.
Definitely. I'm sure half of them will work out.
Right. With little to no work. You don't have to do the full like workout effort. You don't have to do the full foreclosure effort. The house is already gone in most cases. It's more like deficiency judgments, which are super cheap. It's like $1,500 for a deficiency judgment. So
are they, Kathy, are they unsecured because the first foreclosed, or are they unsecured because they were ejected from a bankruptcy?
a couple of different reasons. Some are they were surrendered in bankruptcy. Some are because the first foreclosed. Some are just because they let it go. They just walked away from it. So various reasons, but they are all unsecured. There's no house backing the mortgage. But that's the beauty of what we do. When you buy a note, you buy a note and a mortgage secured by both the home and the property. So you lose one, you still potentially have the other, assuming they didn't go through bankruptcy. If they went through bankruptcy, you're kind of screwed, right?
Yeah.
But unless it dismissed without completion, then you may still be in play. But it goes through bankruptcy, you're out no matter what. But it didn't go through there's only, I think, 6 of them that were in bankruptcy. All the rest were clear.
Yeah. So what for a deficiency judgment, so theoretically you have a UPB that remains on this loan, and your deficiency judgment can be up to that value of that UPB, correct?
Plus arrears and lates, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, just because you're getting a deficiency judgment doesn't mean you lose everything.
Yeah.
Kathy and I just had a $55,000 cash payout. It was great. Made us happy. We love those.
Sure.
And we have another 200,000 coming in. This isn't a PAC one. It's a Gemini one. We're trying to close Gemini out. We have these like couple of lingering notes, but they're like huge amounts. The 55 is small, but we have like one for 450 and one for 200, which we're going to take 185 for. It's funny because like 5 years ago, we offered her 140 and she refused it. So 5 years later, it's now 185.
Yeah.
But we're trying to close Gemini out in favor of PAC because we love PAC. Gemini, we're just tired of. Gemini, we just want to be done with it. So everybody knows we're streaming on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we can see that.
Did everybody subscribe?
I don't think I did.
Everybody subscribe. I want everybody to subscribe. Make me so happy.
No, actually, I came in through Zoom.
Well, but we're still live streaming, Carolyn.
Ah, okay.
What's nice about the live stream is that you can chat in there too, and everybody can see what you're chatting at the same time. And then, like I said, with my hopes for this YouTube thing is like, as I'm working my own notes out and I come up with like a bizarre scenario that I think everybody might want to know about, I might just randomly go live and talk about the strange thing that's happening. You know what I mean? Which on Zoom, I really don't have the capability of doing, but I do on this channel. So if you like and then hit that bell thing and a scenario like that comes up, that's kind of fun.
I don't even know what's your channel. Like, I don't have a link for your YouTube.
Paper Assets Capital is the channel.
Okay.
I had it on Pack Trumpeteer, and everybody got mad at me and saying, hey, people's politics might think that's bad and you might not want to do that. But I was like, I can't control people being offended. We're all adults. If you're going to be mad about something like that, then I can't help it. Which, by the way, I have somebody who doesn't talk to me because of that. I was like, are you kidding? How old are you?
Doesn't talk to you because of what?
Because I like Trump.
Oh, yeah, well, that's happening.
Yeah, but I'm like, how old are you? We're all adults here, man. Suck it up. I don't care that you're a big Hillary fan. Doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? I'm a happy person no matter what. I want everybody to like everything and be happy with everybody. We don't have to like everything, but be happy with everything. I went to Meatballs and Brews the other night, Nick, with my sister's ex-husband, soon to be new husband.
Yeah.
and she wasn't here. She had already flew back to Italy, and we tried to get a table in the back, like normal. And he's like, I can't tonight. It's poker night. I just can't do it. So we ended up going to Nancy's townhouse across the street.
Oh, you got booted.
Well, I mean, we could have stayed theoretically, but the service wouldn't have been spectacular. By the way, Erica, where are you from? Are you from our local area?
I'm not actually. I used to live in Brooklyn, but now I'm in Georgia.
Go, girl. Georgia is cool.
Yeah, you get a lot of property for the money that you spend. What I would have gotten for a condo up there in Brooklyn, I got a nice big house instead
Georgia is cool. There
with
is
land.
no doubt about it.
There are a lot of
I-
New Yorkers down here. A lot of
I
Northerners.
love Georgia. Are you like in Atlanta?
No, I'm in the suburbs.
Of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Peachtree Plaza, favorite place. Favorite
It's
place.
fun there.
Oh my God, favorite place.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think it's Phipps Plaza.
The Witch?
Phipps Plaza. I think it's on Peachtree, but it's Phipps Plaza. With all the ritzy high-end stores.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Phipps Plaza.
But there's great bars there.
Yeah.
Great restaurants, great places to hang. I'm not a shopper. I could care less whether I'm in front of a Nordstrom or a Walmart, but I love a good place to hang out. Love it.
There's another area you'd like. I forget what it's called. Virginia Highlands.
Oh, really?
That's a nice area here in Atlanta.
Well, I was
You'd like to
dating
hang out?
somebody when I was hanging out in Atlanta.
Oh,
He used to take me to that area all the time. This is going back several years.
okay. Yeah, it can be fun down here. Fun and you feel safe at the same time.
Oh gosh, yes, I love it. Georgia is phenomenal. I always just had such a good time when I was there, and I never felt anything but awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like Jersey. I feel the need to flee Jersey.
Why?
Oh my God. Because, all right, I don't want to get political, but it's a bad place to live.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's become a sanctuary state. It's to the point of detriment to citizens' safety. Like, it's just not
Mm.
good. You know what I mean? It's just not good. Taxes are ridiculous. We're like the second highest taxed in the entire nation. What are
Who's
your
first? California?
Actually, for property tax, we are first. New
Mm.
Jersey is first, actually higher than California. But for state income tax, California. But Nick, like as example, what are your taxes? He doesn't want to answer.
No, it's really a sad state of affairs.
No, right? Right?
Yeah, it's well, and it varies. It varies through the state too. I mean,
Well,
Essex,
I
being
asked you
Essex
because
County,
you live in a nicer hood than I do.
okay, maybe, but Essex County has some massive education taxes, so it pretty much goes there. I mean, I have a little lot. It's like 50 by 150. My taxes are like 15,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Right. Now now as comparison, I'm in not as good a hood, right? And I have a 50 by 200 lot, not much bigger than his, and mine are 8,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so and if I go to Bergen County, like my mother's in Bergen County, she has, I don't know, maybe half an acre, and she actually has like some services, you know, like trash is included in things, and I think she's only paying maybe 4 or 5.
Now Kathy lived in Glen Ridge, and hers were 38,000 a year.
Whoa.
That was property taxes.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna just thank God that mine are 2,400. I was
Right?
complaining.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Now, as another comparison, when I was married, I had a $450,000 house on Staten Island. Guess how
Okay.
much my taxes were? Small lot. There's no lots in Staten Island, so that doesn't even matter. But guess how much my taxes were?
How much?
$2,500 a year.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
literally nothing.
Wow.
So it's relative, you know what I mean? My daughter has 3 acres of land in Florida, and her taxes, I think, are $2,600.
Wow.
And she was smart. She bought a foreclosure sale, so she only paid like 160 for it.
Nice.
Actually, really nice. She got a 3,000 square foot home with 3 acres.
She must be sort of in the country also.
She's in Alachua, right outside of Gainesville.
Okay.
She lives on a dirt road too. It's hysterical.
Mm.
Like it's an actual dirt road. Hi, Anurus. Am I saying that right? Wait a minute. Let me allow you to talk. If you have, do you have headphones or microphone? You're welcome to chat with us. Yeah, see, people join later depending on what time they get off work.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was asking people if I should do it at like 9 o'clock, then catch everybody. And the people in Jersey were like, no, we still want it at 7. I was like, okay. Or on the East Coast, still want it at 7. Like, okay. So I just go the whole time, which again makes me happy.
That's what it's about, really.
It's all about making me happy.
That's right.
Because this is my world. I am, of course, completely kidding. Completely kidding. Anurus, type hello if you can hear us. And if I'm saying your name correctly. Or if there's something else you want to be called.
Yeah, so top property taxes, the highest is actually Connecticut.
Mm.
So it's like Connecticut, DC, Massachusetts, then Jersey, if you could believe that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then
Oh,
New
good.
York-
Keep trying, Anurus.
Georgia is number 28.
Which is great.
Florida, yeah. Oh, it's like kind of reverse order here. So Florida's 13, being one of the lowest. New Mexico, you want to go to New Mexico? That's the one.
Well, actually, what I'm going to do, and you know this, Nick, is so my dad lives here with me because, you know, he's old and I have to take care of him. And I'm divorced and he's only got 2 kids left. One lives in Italy, one lives here. That would be me. So once he goes, which I don't want to happen anytime soon, but once he does, I'm going to sell this house and I'm going to buy an RV and I'm going to live in an RV. I'm going to travel the country in an RV.
Wow.
I'm so excited. I'm going to have a custom one made the way I want it. I even have like plans for it and everything. I sat down and I designed the whole thing. It's awesome.
Oh, you're serious.
Oh, I'm serious as a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm very serious.
I don't think we ever talked about the paint job on this van, though. Are you gonna like plan something like psychedelic on the sides, or?
No, I want it to be stealth. So I'm gonna have it like look like a white work truck.
So you're not gonna have like the PAC logo on it?
No. Well, I might put the PAC logo on it because then that would look like a work truck. Right? I can
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Paper Assets Capital Maintenance Team. You know what I mean? Like something along that line. But I'm definitely going to do it without a doubt. Try talking again, Anurus. You left and came back, so I had to allow you to talk a second time. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited. So here's the deal. Here's my plan. So my home base, you can't just like live in an RV, right? So my home base is going to be in Alabama with Al. Al is going to move to Alabama. And so he's already told me I could have a spot on his property. So I'll have a spot on his property. Is
Perfect.
that fairly exciting or what?
Hello?
Hey, how are you? How do you say your name, sir?
Aneri.
Aneri.
Yes.
I knew I was saying it wrong. I just didn't know how to say it. Welcome.
Yes. How you doing?
Awesome. How about you?
Great. This is my first time using Zoom, so I just
Well,
had.
we're also live streaming on YouTube.
Wow, nice.
I know. I'm so excited about it. The first few times we did it, right, Nick, were like a little disturbing.
I don't know. Yeah, audio problems.
But I have it all worked out now. You know what the
Yeah,
audio
that's
problem
good.
was? I didn't realize it till later after I'd already ended the stream and then everybody left. And it was that I had the audio on my computer on. And so I was playing it on my computer so I could watch comments. And I was like echoing myself. Like every time I said something, I'd hear it from YouTube. That's what was happening. That's why that was happening. But I didn't figure it out until I ended the stream and then everybody left and then it didn't matter anymore.
Now, how does it work if there's like 100 people in the room? Would everybody start talking at once?
Well, no, usually we have nice, small, intimate gatherings, 8, 10 people, and everybody's really respectful of everyone else. So if somebody's asking a question, everybody else keeps it quiet or waits for the other person to finish talking. So we don't usually have 100 people at a clip, which is good. And if we do ever get 100 people at a clip, I'll just simply stream and read people's questions without them being able to talk.
Gotcha.
Only because it can get out of control.
Yes, I could imagine.
Right. So I don't ever really want to do that. But I'm so excited by this live stream. Like I was telling everybody, you should subscribe to the channel, which is Paper Assets Capital, because in the daily workings of my own notes, I may, like if something weird comes up that I want to talk about, I'll just randomly live stream it and talk about it.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely check out the YouTube page and subscribe to it.
It's brand new, so there's only like, I think 13 subscribers. We just started it. So it's brand spanking new.
Okay.
But kind of, like I said, very exciting that as I'm working my own notes, you never know what could come up. So anything could come up, like anything strange can come up. And I just want to talk about those things randomly.
Yes, because I subscribed to the group because I was trying to learn about investing into notes and stuff. So I'm trying to get as much information as I can.
Excellent. So is your interest in firsts or seconds?
First.
So I can't convince you to come over to the dark side.
It's not that dark.
If you could explain like what would be the benefits in the second or the pros and the cons.
Okay, so the pros of the seconds is that the return is ridiculously high and they're much more affordable. What I always tell people, if you have $100,000, let's say, and because the price point on firsts is like 65 to 85 cents, depending on the note, the quality, and the UPB, let's say, is 100,000, right? If you have 100,000 to deploy, the most you're going to get is 2 notes, right? In second position, the price point is significantly cheaper, anywhere between 25 and 40 cents. And the UPBs are smaller, 25, 50,000, 70,000, whatever. You have that same 100,000 to deploy, you could end up with 10 notes, right?
Yeah.
So here's why seconds are better. If you only have 2 firsts and one doesn't work out, you've lost $50,000. And the other one is going to work out, but not tremendously good. It's not going to be super high returns. You still lost money. If you get 10 seconds and 3 fail and 7 work, you're going to still make tremendous money. You're not going to have lost anything.
Definitely.
That's why I can bring people over to the dark side.
Oh, it sounds pretty convincing at that particular point. Because you know, at least it's like buying a backup bet just in case the first couple don't go through completely.
Well, it's even better than that. The returns are so great in seconds. I mean, people ask me, what are the returns? I always say 30%, and that's a conservative estimate. It could be as high as, we've had some with a 200% return, 300% return. But I always say 30% just to keep the number so people understand it's high, right? But sometimes I want losers to offset my wins for tax purposes.
Gotcha.
So sometimes losers are actually good. And then I count those still as winners because they help me pay less taxes.
Definitely. Like I'm completely brand spanking new to the whole note thing. So I'm still trying to learn and see how to go about it, how to invest in it. Cause usually I buy properties and fix them up, rentals. I have about 7 properties right now that I'm managing. I
Right.
just started my construction company about a month or so. So now, you know, I have a little bit of capital that I like to invest, and I always heard about notes. So just wanted to, you know, get as much information as I can to learn about it.
Well, fantastic. That's wonderful. I was going to ask you, what do you do in your everyday life? And that's wonderful.
Where are you located?
Yeah.
In Staten Island, New York.
We were just talking about Staten Island.
Yep.
When I was married, I lived on Staten Island. I did. I lived on South Shore.
Oh, yeah. I'm from the North Shore.
I mean, you're over there by the ferry, right?
Yes. I'm down over there where all the chaos is at.
I don't know. I always like going on the ferry.
Yeah, but I got the majority of my properties over there across Newark, East Orange.
You probably get good rents too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my neighborhood. I'm in Maplewood.
Yeah.
Where?
Maplewood.
Okay. All right.
You can pick those up cheap, throw 50 or 80,000 into them, make the apartment stunning, and get 1,800 a month.
Yeah, there's a pretty good amount of rehabbing going on around lately, more than there has been in previous years.
You know who's doing a lot of it? Mahir.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah. That's why he got out of the note business. He loves the real estate fix and flipping, which for me is like I said, a death knell.
He's following Fuquan, right?
Oh my God, Mahir is out of the note business?
He's pretty much let everything go. He even sold Distressed Note Expo.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a hot market right now, and you know the properties are flying off the shelves, especially like down in Newark and stuff. So, but I just got a great lead, and we're expanding down to Camden now. I'm heading down into this weekend.
Camden.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a little tip that was passed on to me. They said that the census come out every 10 years. So this year, 2020, is due for it to come, for the new numbers to come out. And once they show that the crime rate has dropped down dramatically from the last 10 years, that, you know, property is gonna start going up value.
Well, you know, anywhere where you can buy a house for the price of a used car, more power to you. I mean,
definitely.
You know, for me though, I'd have to stay out of there because I don't. And again, I'd have to wait for a little bit of the rejuvenation to take place before I could get excited about it, because Camden is like literally one of the top or bottom 10 places in the country to live for safety, security.
Yeah, but once the new report comes out this year, you're gonna see that all the numbers change drastically. If you go if you could even go on Zillow and you could see Camden on the map, and when you look right over the bridge from Camden to Philadelphia, you see the price of the properties on the Philadelphia side, and a lot of people that can't afford to move downtown Philly is crossing over to Camden. And that's what we're doing. We're buying down in Camden, right at that tip where it's right across from the bridge from Philly.
Yeah, I mean, there is a college down there. There
Mhm.
is some interesting things down there. Excuse me. So, I mean, you're right about that. I'm just, again, for me personally, for what my interests are, I would have to wait for, again, I hate owning real estate anyway, so that's not even exciting for me. But I would have to wait for a little bit of the revitalization to take place before I could get thoroughly excited by it, you know?
No, I understand. I totally understand. You know, me personally, I'm taking advantage of the situation because you could still buy a lot for like $4,000 or
Yeah.
$5,000 and build on it.
I mean, I just went to Zillow and looked it up, and I'm kind of laughing because there's actually like there's a house in Sicklerville, which is, I guess, a suburb of Camden,
Mhm.
for like 210,000. It's crazy.
I'm telling you, it's going up.
Here's one in Camden for 127,000. So, but then
Yeah,
there's the
well, you think about
typical.
it, you know, like you think about New Jersey, you had the city across the river, which is too expensive, and you have places like Jersey City and Hoboken, which just exploded because they were cheaper alternatives, right? With easy access.
Well, it's the same
So
thing. Look at Rahway. Exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
One of the reasons Rahway has become so expensive is it's a direct shot to New York.
yeah,
So
Mm.
if you can't afford to live in New York, you get on a train, and of course Newark is now is coming up.
yeah,
Just stay on the train to Rahway, 4 stops, and you're home.
yeah. So
It's the same idea.
Philly's doing pretty well. So yeah, I mean, could have. I just pulled up an article here. It says that it is known as America's most deadly city, but
Mhm.
but it says 2017 had the lowest homicide rate since the 80s. So I mean, that's the right direction.
Well, you know what they're doing down there, which I actually think is really helping with the crime problem. They pretty much have the entire. However, for like privacy, it's an issue. They pretty much have the entire city under surveillance at all times.
Hmm.
The whole city is cameraed up.
Yeah.
So they actually know when something happens, like right when it happens, and a cop car can immediately get there. So it's a privacy thing, but if it's helping with safety, I mean, you could buy a whole block down there probably for 30,000 and just knock them down and put in a whole set of condos or something.
Yep. So that's what I have in mind, that I'm a little project I'm working on, but I want to learn about these notes.
Yeah, notes are great. The reason I like notes over real estate is I don't want phone calls in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that a hot water heater blew up. I just don't want that. And with notes, I don't own a house, so I don't care. Not my problem.
Now, how do you lose with notes?
So you lose with notes a couple of different ways, especially in second position. You could still lose in first position too, and I'll tell you that as well. But in second position, you could lose because you get stripped out in a bankruptcy, and the bankruptcy goes to fruition, gets discharged. You could get, if there's not enough equity coverage, you can get asked out when the first forecloses. So there's a couple of different ways to lose in seconds. In first, the same things can happen. Like we foreclosed on a property in, I want to say Ohio, actually. And might have been another state, but I think it was Ohio. And then after we foreclosed, we sent a real estate agent out there to list it, and come to find out there's a 10-foot hole in the roof, raining into the house. So you can lose in firsts too. There's no guarantee.
Now, do you do your due diligence on each property before you buy the note on it to see
I
how
am
much
an
equity?
insane due diligence doer.
Yeah.
I pretty much know everything about the property and the people that own it before I buy it.
Yeah, I tell people usually that I know more about your situation than you do when I pick up the phone to call.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
how long does the turnaround takes on investing into notes? Like,
So again, that's actually, I can run the gamut. We've had workouts in 3 weeks, payoffs in 3 weeks, and we have notes 8 years later, we're still working. So it runs the gamut. Like we're foreclosing on several properties in New York and New Jersey for the last 8 years.
wow.
Because it's New York and New Jersey. But then we've had people that as soon as we buy the note, like literally 2.5 weeks later, they're like, yeah, I'll go ahead and pay you out. Like, okay. Great. You know, we give them a reduction right off the bat. We offer them a 20% reduction. And we've had people take us up on it. So that's happened too, just as frequently, if not more frequently.
Now, what happens if the property like goes to an auction or something?
Well, so that's dependent on county rules. Sometimes if it doesn't sell, always if it doesn't sell, it reverts to the note owner. But sometimes, you know, it'll sell on the sheriff's, you know, steps or whatever. And then whoever buys it is subject to the first, if it's a second position. If it's a first position and it doesn't sell, then it reverts back to you. What you do is you send your lawyer down to the sale with bidding instructions. Tell them what your minimum bid is that you're willing to accept.
Gotcha.
Yeah, how do you, Kathy? What's your strategy on bidding?
So I never want to make it too much to where nobody will buy it, but I also don't want to make it too little where I leave money on the table. So we basically just work the numbers and come up with that happy medium.
Yeah,
Where it's still a bargain for somebody in second position, knowing you're subject to the first.
a bargaining given its condition and rehab.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Like that.
No, I don't care about that.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
what I want is what I paid for the note plus expenses plus at minimum $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 profit, depending on what the UPB is.
right.
And that process usually takes about what, give or take, on an average deal you do? 3 months?
So it depends on the state, right? Like in Texas, from the moment you initiate foreclosure to the time that you have evicted the tenants and you can sell the property is 90 days. In New Jersey, it's 8 years.
Wow.
So again, it's judicial versus non-judicial. Any judicial state means a court action is required for the foreclosure to take place. Non-judicial means a substitution of trustee can come in and just basically take the house, which could also turn judicial if the homeowners contest it. So
yeah, and 8 years in New Jersey, that there's something's contested there, right?
oh yeah, they're contested. They're always coming up with a new defense. And it resets the process and blah 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 blah. You know, the homeowners in Jersey are savvy. They're not stupid. You know, and they make us spend a lot of money. In the end, we're going to get it, and we're going to tack it on to what they owe us because they made us work so hard for it. But you know, it's still, they still get to live rent free. I have 8 years in court action. I haven't even started foreclosure yet. You know the story on that one.
Yeah.
Wow. 8 years court action. I still haven't begun my foreclosure.
But that's a special situation.
And it's $450,000.
Oh my God.
Second position.
Yeah.
That I paid $23,000 for. So I don't really care. It could take another 10 years.
So you can luck up like hitting the lottery with the right note.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You never know how a homeowner is going to respond. you could look at a credit report and see that they have shitty credit. They have it's their situation is terrible, and they'll come at you within a week and say, hey, if I give you $40,000, would that pay this off? You just never know. And then you have people where you think you're going to get paid out immediately, and those are the ones that take 2 years. Every homeowner is different.
Definitely.
Every situation is different. The reality is, though, working a numbers game, in the numbers game, you're going to win. Even if you lose a couple, you're still going to win.
Yep.
Because it's all a numbers game. We've got one that I was just telling them, we just got paid out 55 grand. It's a condo, and it was one of our smaller ones. It's a condo in South Boston. The condo was worth like 800,000. And he sold it because the first started foreclosure. So he sold it to pay everybody off. He had ridiculous amounts of equity, and he paid us out. And we bought that note 7 years ago.
Wow.
We never bothered to foreclose, though, because we knew the first was foreclosing. So why spend the money, right?
Definitely.
The house had like 400,000 in equity, so it's not like we were going to lose anything. So we were happy to just wait for the first to foreclose and take the excess proceeds.
And you bought it in second position for how much?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on. It was like 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Let's see. Hang on, I'll tell you. I just have to find it. This is one in our other company that we just want to get rid of, that we're trying to close out. But we have these little sticklers out there. We paid for this note $4,000.
Wow.
And we just got paid 55,000 with like no expenses.
Gotcha. That's what I was about to say.
Again, it took a few years, but who cares?
Yeah, it was well worth it.
Right. Put 4,000 on the shelf, 8 years, pull it down, it's 55,000. Life is good.
Yep.
Yeah, and you never know what loan it's going to be, but you got to be in the game to win those.
The other loan I was talking about that's 450 has a UPB of 250. The other 200,000 is all arrearages, late fees, everything else.
Now, what UPP is that? What?
UPB is unpaid principal balance.
Gotcha.
So on your own mortgage, on your house, whatever the principal is that you owe the bank still is called the UPB.
Gotcha.
When you buy in first position, you pay on the lower of the UPB or the BPO. Whatever the lower number is what you pay on. When you buy in seconds, you pay on the UPB only.
It sounds pretty interesting. I'm gonna go on YouTube tonight and just like research 1,000 videos on notes.
Well, I have a couple fun ones.
Is it on your YouTube channel that you just created?
There's some on there. I started out on a different channel, which you may or may not like me after you hear the name. The other channel is Pack Trumpeteer.
All right.
They told me that I have to take that off because politically some people may get mad at me. Yeah. So I did. And then I have a couple other ones on other people's channels, like people who did interviews with me. I have a couple on Note MBA. Let's see. The one on Note MBA is ridiculously interesting because it's where I talk about that numbers game, how you could win no matter what.
So I'm gonna look that one up. Note NBA.
M as in Mary, MBA.
Gotcha.
They have a lot of good interviews, but they were more geared toward firsts.
Yeah, Note MBA is geared towards first. It's true. In fact, the reason he interviewed me is they were doing like make May the month of seconds or something.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up on there. But oh, okay, here it is. I'll put a link. Hang on. I also did a couple of Joe Fairless interviews. You're in real estate. You might know who Joe Fairless is.
No.
Oh, he's huge in the real estate market.
Oh. I got the link.
Let's see. And then I have on our webpage, I have my Joe Fairless podcasts.
Now these links will stay on the YouTube page as well, right?
No, these are in the Zoom chat.
Oh, so they're gonna expire?
Yeah, I guess when we close out the Zoom, I guess I could post them in the other one. Let's see. Oh, shit. I went to the wrong one. Dennis established this channel like a long time ago, and we never did anything with it, and so now I'm using it. So it's theoretically brand new. Let's see. So I just put these in the YouTube chat as well. So you should see them in both places.
Yeah, definitely. Because if I click the link now, then it will exit me out of the whole Zoom chat
Oh,
room.
it does?
I didn't try it because I wasn't sure if it'll do so, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. So, the whole point to notes is that it's just pretty exciting as far as I'm concerned. Not that I try to hawk my stuff, but I have a class if you're interested in getting into in-depth stuff. Like I actually give you really significantly detailed stuff. Like literally actually how to do it.
Yes.
So if you have interest in that, you can hit me up.
Definitely.
And I do it right here in New Jersey at a place called Meatballs and Brews. That's awesome. Right, Nick?
Yup, it's a good venue.
What part of Jersey is that at?
Oh, right across the bridge from you. It's in Rahway.
Oh, okay, so that's not that far.
No, I live in Rahway. I live in the ghetto.
All right.
I do.
I'm glad to hear that.
But I love it. It's awesome.
Yep.
Actually, I bought this house when I divorced my husband. I gave him our house in Staten Island.
Wow. Lucky man.
Well, you know how they always say the wife rapes the husband? I made like 3 times what my husband made.
Oh man.
So I wanted him to leave my retirement fund alone. So I literally gave him everything.
Wow.
I was like, here, I'll even take all the credit card debt. You have the house, you have everything.
Wow. You don't hear that too often.
Well, like I said, I made so much more than him. I wanted him to just leave me alone.
He must feel like a shrimp.
No, he didn't feel bad at all. He had a big, beautiful house in Staten Island. Not
Wow.
big, but beautiful. I had literally just put 100,000 in renovations, brand new kitchen, awesome man cave in the basement, brand new bathrooms.
Wow.
I built in the basement, in the man cave, a second kitchen, a new bathroom.
And where was this on, like in the South Shore, like Arden?
Actually, right off Arden on Berry.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow.
Berry's the street that's like 6 cars wide. It's like randomly like the widest street ever.
Yeah. How long you been doing notes for?
Since 2011.
2011.
Yep.
And
I
I'm
went in.
assuming,
Huh?
I was gonna say, I'm assuming you did fairly well for yourself.
I like to think so. Life is good.
Yes.
I'm not a
Now,
millionaire yet, but I will be soon.
how much capital did you actually start with when you started off?
So you have to remember when I first got started in notes were selling, like awesome notes were selling for 10 cents on the dollar. Fully covered equity, crazy good notes, 10 cents on the dollar. That is not the case today. So when I first started, we went to a few free meetups. Nick Tang, I don't know if you're aware of Nick Tang. And at the end of the third meetup, we walked up to the guy running the meetup and said, we'd like to buy 2 notes just to test the waters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we bought 2 notes for $10,000 with a UPB of like combined 60,000, 57 or something. And we didn't pay 10, it was like 91 or 94, whatever. And the whole idea, we didn't know how we were going to structure our business yet. The original idea is Kathy would call one borrower, I'd call the other. And if you've heard this story before, I'm sorry to bore you, but it's a fun story.
No, I'm interested.
Well, I know you haven't heard it, but there's other people that might have on the call that might have heard it. So, that was the original idea. So I called my guy and I said, hey, this is Gemini Solutions and we just purchased your mortgage and we were hoping to get, I filed bankruptcy. Don't you ever call me again. And he hung up the phone on me. And I was freaking out. I was kind of like crying. Because I'm a corporate businesswoman. I'm not used to people yelling at me. Right.
Yes.
So I don't even yell at people who work for me. I'm just not used to this kind of thing. And so he yelled at me and I was like, holy hell, what just happened? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So then Kathy called her borrower and it literally went exactly like this. Oh my God. I'm so happy you called me. I've been wanting to pay. I just had no idea who to pay.
Wow.
And by the way, can you help me reach into my 401k so I can pull out some money and pay you the back money I owe you?
Wow.
Sure I can. So we helped him write a hardship letter. He gave us 10,000 up front. And what happened there? We were made whole plus. And then we had a workout with him where he paid faithfully for 5 years. And then he refinanced and paid us off in full.
Nice.
The guy never missed a payment, added us to his homeowner's insurance, which almost never happens in second position. Guy was awesome. In fact, we used to send him Christmas gifts every year. We send him like fruit baskets and royal pears. We just loved him so much. Anyway, so what happened to the other note? I turned around, I sold it to another investor for 7,500. Still made some money there. So both of those notes were winners all the way around. So an opportunity came up for another trade where some people were going to buy some and we were going to buy some, and it had like 500 notes on it. And so we decided to go all in. And so we each put in 150,000, me and Kathy, 300,000. We got 3 million UPB, 30 notes. Now the numbers aren't actually that round. I'm sort of rounding them to keep it nice and even. But it was basically that 3 million, 30 notes, 300,000. And remember, fully covered equity notes, fully covered, 10 cents on the dollar. But that was back then. It's not the same today.
Nope.
Today, it's the Wild West out there. We've had people offer us take. Now, we're like experienced note investors, and most people know that. We've had people try and get 60 cents for a delinquent second from us. And we're like, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, what we do often is join forces with other note investors. You have 500,000, I have 500,000, and we put our money together and buy large pools, and then
Of course.
distribute them out.
So basically, you flipping them to the investors themselves.
No, we don't. We don't buy and sell. We're not flip. We buy everything we buy. We keep. We join forces to get cheaper pricing.
Gotcha.
They buy their notes. We buy our notes. We're not really note sellers. People call us all the time. You have any notes to sell? You have any? And we don't. We're not really note sellers. We buy. We keep everything we buy. I mean, every now and again, if we bought a tape with like 200 notes, that might be a little too much for us to work because there's only 4 of us. So we might sell some of that off. But generally, we keep everything we buy. So we're usually doing 50 notes per trade.
And I was going to ask you, so do you receive like a monthly payment every month? From
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's called mailbox money. I get emails. $2,600 was just deposited into your account.
Oh, man. Sounds like the life.
And then all I have to do is go to the bank and take it out. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you just get an email notification that money was deposited. Life is good.
And you don't have to worry about rental, fixing up tenants.
No, because I don't own a house.
Evictions.
I own a mortgage. I don't own a house. Somebody else owns the house.
Gotcha.
So life is good. But what we were talking about just before you joined the call, we're trying something new, and that's unsecured, which go for like a penny and a half on the dollar. So we're going to try that out, see how that works. We just dumped like 15 grand into it just to play with it, see how it works out.
But I'm assuming there's way more risk involved.
Absolutely. It's unsecured. But we got 58 notes. I didn't have to do full packages. And that is, did you hear that, Nick? You don't have to do the full package, right? Just send like one letter, see what happens. So even if like 10 of them pay off out of the 58 notes, we got our 15,000 back plus.
Definitely.
So that's why we're playing. It's just a test. We just decided to play with it to see how it goes. And if it works, it's something we might do again.
Now, what would be your best advice to me if I wanted to invest like 15 grand? What you think I should start? Where should I start at first?
The biggest piece of advice I always tell everybody is you have to buy more than one note, because if you buy one note and it sucks, it may turn you off completely. Like think about the story I told you.
Definitely.
If we'd only bought that one note, it could have really sucked for us and we may never have gotten into the business. But because the second one was so great, that's what kept us in it. That's why we decided to go all in. So I would suggest buying more than one note up front. And what I would also suggest, because you're not going to get favorable pricing with 15 grand, you're just not. You should try to find other people that also have money and do like we do, join forces to get better pricing.
Yeah. So what would be a good feasible amount to start off with?
I mean, I would say to get 2 or 3 notes, I would say 50 grand. I mean, what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think that's good. I would probably go with, I mean, personally, I would feel gun shy like spending 20,000 on a loan as one of my first. So I'd be picking some cheaper ones, you know, $5,000 loans maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I forget that I'm sort of like, if I don't make 10 grand on a note, that's my minimum profit that I'm willing to make. If I don't make 10
Yeah.
grand on a note, it's not worth doing. And I forget that sometimes that newer people to it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value early on to buying some of the cheaper loans so that you're not scared about losing a lot of money, but also just to go through that education process. You know,
Yeah.
I've picked up notes for a couple $100 that weren't worth much, but it was a good lesson. It was just going through the motions and building your process, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we just turned down a tape because the UPBs were really low. I mean, I could see if it's still available and see if you want to look at it.
Definitely.
We didn't even, just to be quite frank, we didn't even bother doing due diligence because the UPBs were just too low. So I can't tell you the quality of it or not, or anything.
What's too low?
Again, I need to make a minimum of 10 grand. That's my minimum threshold of what I'm willing to make for the work that goes in.
But that could be a UPB of like 20,000, right?
Right.
On the low side, yeah.
But that's not that. But bear in mind, that's my minimum. I much
Yeah.
prefer higher amounts.
Sure.
If I get a whole tape filled with nothing but 20,000s, I'm not going to look at the tape.
But for a person starting off as myself, that actually might work out.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, I often forget I'm in a different arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't even compare to what the level you're at right now. Even though the capital is not a problem because I can grab 100 grand and invest with it, but I wouldn't feel the most comfortable to do so as of now, as of yet. But that's why I would like to start off with 15, 20 to see how that goes.
Well, like I said, we have a tape that we didn't even bother doing due diligence on it. So again, I can't speak to if it's a good tape or not. Because the UPBs were kind of tiny. So that might be something that you could get started on. Again, hit me up on the side. Does everybody here have my email address?
No, I don't have it. And I'd like to look at that tape as well, if you don't mind sharing.
No, I don't mind sharing at all. Well, it's not my tape and I'm not taking money for it or anything. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like making money on the top. It's not my tape. I'll just forward it to you. Somebody else's tape. Again, I have to see if it's available. I'll talk to Al.
Yeah, so I got the email. I'll email you after.
Yeah, Carolyn, we already have you've emailed me before, Carolyn. You have my email.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check with Al. I'll see. I just don't know. And again, I wish I could tell you if it's good or not. I just didn't do any due diligence on it.
Definitely.
Our due diligence process always starts with numbers. And if it doesn't meet our numbers, we don't bother going any further. Because due diligence is a time waster. If nothing else.
Gotcha.
But I like your questions. I think you have good questions, so keep
Thank
them
you.
coming.
So where do you mainly shop for your notes? Do you shop? Is there a broker that you have, or how does it work? Like,
I have to get Al as a guest on our podcast here one night because Al is our asset manager. He's the one who finds all the hooks.
gotcha.
I don't actually go out and do that kind of thing. We don't buy from retail locations. We buy, like I said, in larger tranches. So generally somebody has a deal and we're all putting money together. So somebody who has the deal will like reach out and say, hey, are you guys interested in this amount of money on a trade? And if we have other people we can partner up with to get to that amount of money, then we're like, yeah, we're down.
But now that's for the level that you're at now. But before, when you first started, where did you start at first?
The first,
Well, the first one you said was at the Meetup group.
right. The second one was through a broker. And we paid like $12,000 in broker fees.
Okay.
That was over on top of the cost of the notes.
So moving on, the fourth and the fifth one, how did you go about those?
By then people knew us, knew we had money and were willing to buy. So people actually started finding us.
Gotcha.
Once you do a few trades, people, and larger trades, like I said, our second trade was 300,000. That's a trade that any seller is interested in.
Oh yeah, definitely. I forgot you definitely said that.
Right. So people started reaching out to us. It's unfortunate that I can't answer a lot of questions for you on that. It's not something that we actually dealt with a lot.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to tell you if I had a story about, I just don't.
Definitely.
And it's always the question people want to know is, where do you get inventory? And the answer is, if you do good trades and you prove to be a good buyer, above board, money on time, that kind of thing, people will seek you out. I mean, it's just the answer. I don't know, Nick, where do you get yours?
Well, I think like starting out, like even now, when I started out, it was more relational transactions, just having a network of people to purchase from, which is hard to kind of create when you haven't done anything yet. So I think some of the platforms out there, like PaperStack or something, it may not be a great place to find all your notes, but it could be a good place to shop and
to start.
Yeah, you pull a deal or two just to feel it out. It's
yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
And what was the name of that website? Or
it's PaperStack, but it's STAC, I think.
Yeah, it is. Hang on, I'll put the link in the chat.
They have it's a newer platform, so it's kind of modern. They have some great tools for the transaction to help keep things in line, and it's a nice platform. There's another one. What's the other one? We were talking about it too, Kathy. The FCI platform that had changed.
The new one, yeah, they just came out with the second one.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I don't remember. What
FCI is back now?
Yeah, I think they came out with they replaced FCI Exchange with something else.
Okay.
I think it's Note Exchange. I don't remember.
Is it not? No, with Note Exchange was like Alberto, unless they bought it from Alberto.
Let me see. I think there it is.
They might have bought it from
Exchange Loans. I think it's exchangeloans.com.
Yep, that's what it is. I have them in the YouTube chat.
Got you. All the links to the websites.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I picked up a nice note on the FCI exchange a while back. And it was bought it from somebody's IRA. And it was a solid second, good amount of equity, and the borrower looks strong. So I bought it, and it turns out I got in touch with the borrower, and she says, yeah, I had a whole modification and everything worked out. Payments and everything were all worked out with the other person, but they never drafted the amount from my account.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I said, okay, well, what was the amount? And it was fine. Her payments were great. So I said, okay, so can I start those payments? She's like, yeah, sure. And so that turned out to be the issue, because I said, okay, FCI, do the ACH, do the draft. And they pulled the first month, and the next month rolled around and it didn't go. So I had to call them up. I said, what's going on? Oh, no, okay, they have to change this. We took care of it. It should be okay. So the next month it worked. And then the month after that, it didn't work.
Oh, God.
So they had to go in again. So there was something screwed up with the loan that they didn't do the draft, but that was the whole reason this guy was selling it.
But has it turned out to be good since?
I held it for about a year and sold it. So it was
Okay.
great. Yeah, it was a great investment.
Well, that's good. I mean, anything like that is fantastic, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any note that requires the minimum amount of work is awesome. Well, do we have anything more we want to talk about? I'll stay here forever, but we have to have something to talk about.
You pretty much answered all my questions that I have for right now.
All right.
And I totally appreciate all the information, your time, and gained a couple of knowledgeable information that I'm gonna, soak in.
Awesome.
Yep. I don't know about anybody else, if maybe I was asking dumb questions that they already knew the answers to, but
there is no dumb question.
Yep.
There is no dumb question. Usually what I find is that people are asked, when they ask questions, they're asking questions that everybody else wants to ask, but they're too shy to ask. Yeah. I find that whether in person or via web stream. Everybody always thinks it's a dumb question, so they keep their mouth shut. And when somebody has the balls to actually ask it, it's good.
Definitely. Next time I'll be a little bit more prepared. Like I'll have a whole question list ready for you.
Good. That makes me ask Nick. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, I just noticed that you joined us. There is no educational tape. What educational tape are you talking about?
He might be talking about your low UPB tape.
Oh, I mean, it says educational, so I don't know. It's not really educational so much as, actual notes. But again, I have to see from Al if it's still available. It wasn't too long ago. It just wasn't something we had a lot of interest in.
Well, I'm going to email you with my email address. And, if you get a list that, doesn't meet your criteria, if you don't mind passing it along to me, I would appreciate it if you can,
Yeah, absolutely. We don't broker notes or anything. So if I pass something to you, it's just for you. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely.
We're not in that business. We're not We don't broker. We don't do any of that stuff.
You know, and that'll give me something to come back to the group to discuss and you know, inform you how it went, if you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot involved in buying a note tape. You have to board the loans. You have to assign the loans. There's a lot involved in it. So make sure you know what's happening.
Now, would it be best to get an attorney to do all of that for you?
I'm a cheap date, and I don't ever want to pay an attorney to do something I can do myself with very little effort. Does that answer your question?
You're just different.
No, not really. I mean, doing your own assignments, it's not a big deal. You just have to know how to do it. So, you know, it's doing due diligence. You need to know how to do it. So just be aware of that before you start. Due diligence is a long process. A lot of things you have to do.
Take Kathy's class. She'll show you how.
I think I'm gonna have now. Do you? How much is your course? What are you charging for your mentorship?
Well, I don't do mentorship. It's a one and done. But I'll give you enough information where you'll just have everything. And then I'm never gonna turn your phone call away unless you call me 17 times a day, and then I will. To be perfectly honest. I don't lie. It's the one thing I don't do. The class is $2,000 for 2 days, 48 hours. You have me at your beck and call for 48 hours. As long as you're willing to go, I'm willing to go. If that's 14 hours, it's 14 hours. If it's 6 hours, it's 6 hours. If it's 20 hours, it's 20 hours. And I'm talking per day.
Gotcha.
So I've actually done the note class, gone out to dinner with the group, and then we went to a bar afterwards, all in the discussion of notes until like 2 a.m.
So now, if for this class, so you're gonna break down every single step from A to Z.
Yes. Does that answer your question?
All right.
From buying the note to working the note out, all of it.
To doing the assignment,
All
how
of
to
it.
do the due diligence,
All of
where
it.
to find it.
Well, where to find it, I can't, that you have to find your sourcing. That I can't help you with. Sourcing, and Nick can probably back me up on this, is largely having to do with relationships. I can't help you build relationships. That's up to you.
Yeah, that's almost like, it's like a business design thing. Like, what kind of business do you want, and who you're going to do business with? Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah, it's not something people always ask that, and my answer is I can't formulate your relationships for you. You have to do it yourself, and it's all relationship building.
Yes.
So, I mean, I can lead you in directions like we just did, but it's up to you.
Yes, totally.
The only thing I can offer you is that people who do take it, when we put a note group together, when we're trying to like get large amounts of money, the people who take my class are like the first ones who get invited to join. That I can offer you.
Yes.
Further than that, can't offer you, but I can tell you everything you need to know about the note, how to do the due diligence, assign it, do everything.
Gotcha.
Out, everything. And it's 2 full days of material, just to be honest, like 2 full days. And then, like I said, we'll continue talking forever.
Yeah, Kathy, I don't know if you're going to say it because you offer training, but I will say that anybody starting out in the note business should spend some money on training, and more than just like a couple $100 too. I mean, get some real value there. And for $2,000, 2 days with Kathy is well worth the money.
Yeah, I was going to say there are people that charge more than that and don't give you near the detail I give you.
Yeah.
Allie, who took my class, gave me the best compliment. She was like, everybody else is notes 101, your notes 301.
Hmm.
I'm bad at hawking myself, but I can tell you there's ridiculous value in what I offer. I've had
No,
people fly from California for it.
I could imagine.
Kathy, when are you offering your class next? Just out of curiosity.
I do it on demand.
Oh, okay.
You could be the only student. You could be one of 3. I do very small groups. The max
Oh.
I have is 5 ever. Because I think you learn more in an intimate group, and I'm not really in it for the money. I'm into it for the value. So I'll do it on demand.
That's good to know, because I get tons of people that ask me how I started out, and I'll let them know. And they, I don't know. I feel like what you're offering is really something of value.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I will tell you it's during the week. I don't do it on weekends. So that if somebody has a regular daytime job, they'd have to take a couple days off. And I prefer it in the warmer climates because I like to do it outside. It's nice and fun and relaxed and casual. So if you can keep those things in mind, it'd be great.
Okay.
It's just more fun for everybody. And I do it at a restaurant called Meatballs and Brews. Who doesn't love that? It's actually pretty cool. They have a tiki bar where everybody will sit, and it's in front, like with a TV mounted, and I connect my laptop to the TV, and we just go over everything. It's great. So do we have anything else we want to talk about? And Nick, thanks for the props. I appreciate that, because I'm terrible at hawking myself. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to think I'm into selling, like selling training. It's not my
Yeah.
main shtick.
No, but it's a good product.
Well, thank you.
Well, I definitely enjoyed this session. I appreciate everything. And I'll be looking forward to the next webinar.
Just for your own edification, we do this every 2 weeks, every other Wednesday, 7 p.m. We talk about different topics. I do 3 different formats. My favorite, of course, is Q&A, because I'm a chit chatterer. I'm Chatty Cathy. Remember that doll? I'm like the living embodiment of Chatty Cathy. So this is obviously my favorite. My other formats are guests and PowerPoint presentations.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to the PowerPoints.
All right. So Miss Erica, did you get anything out of tonight?
I did. It was good to hear all the information you shared, and it was good to hear the questions. I think I may pronounce your name wrong, Anuri. Aneri. So it was good to hear all of his questions, just as a refresher.
Good.
Yeah, it was really good. Thank you.
Oh, who's got a baby there?
That's me, Erica.
Oh,
he's 2.
He's 2. What's his name?
Braylon.
Oh my goodness, how cute.
Mm-hmm.
Love the little cooing. I have 2 new babies. Not me personally, but my niece just had twins.
Oh, nice.
I know, like 3 weeks ago. I'm so excited.
Busy.
Well, and she's got 4 boys under the age of 4 now. It's hysterical.
Oh my goodness.
It's hysterical. Poor thing.
Wow.
Poor thing. She's got, and the names are so just crazy. She's got Parker, Ashton, Julian, and Bryce.
Those are nice names.
They're nice, but they're crazy. But they're just very sweet. They're just adorable. My youngest grandson is like turning 3, Nick, in February.
Oh,
Great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 grandchildren, and 10, 8, and 3. You didn't know I was an old lady, did you?
I had no idea. You may not be an old lady. You may just be,
that's right. That's right.
No, I'm an old lady.
Oh, come on now.
Nick, I'm 50.
Yeah, oh, come on.
Well, let me say that I'm going to be 50 this year. 49.
That's not old.
To have a 10-year-old granddaughter, please. Please. That means I had my daughter when she was when I was 19. She had her kid when she was 20. I'm a young grandma.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
But I'm old.
You're old at heart? What are you trying to say?
No, I'm young at heart. I tell you, I'm feeling old actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting fat as hell. I mean, I'm always fat, but I'm getting fatter. The winter always makes me super fat. Well, all right, everyone. This has been a great meetup, even though we only had like 6 people, which again, we always have small intimate ones, which kind of makes me happier. I like the intimate groups better than the large groups. I one time gave us at a Nick Tang event, I gave a seminar for like an hour to a group of like 200 people who I feel like got nothing out of it because there were like a lot of people. So I always prefer the intimate groups where I think you can get a lot more out of it, ask better questions, you know, not be so shy in asking your questions, that kind of thing. So anyway, that makes me happy. This has been fantastic. 2 weeks from now, same place, same time, same bat channel. And I think everyone should have a great rest of the night.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Good
right.
night.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night, Kevin.
Good night, Nick.
Bye.
Bye.